Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another awesome episode of the SoundFlick podcast with your favorite co-stars. It is your boy, Norik Thascool. Next to me, I got my man.
It's your boy, Ace Sincere, Young Flacco, Young City in the cut.
And then below me, I got...
Skywalker Mike, per usual. You know?
That's right.
I try to be here all the time, you know.
And the reason we give directionals is because you should be listening to our podcast on YouTube so you can see our pretty faces, and then it will all make sense. If you're listening to us on Spotify or anything like that, then what our intro is, you could just imagine it, but it's all right. But we are at episode we're at episode 40, episode 40.
Proud of us.
We made it.
That's right. We made it. 40 episodes deep, y'all, talking about these movies and music and all this streaming wars and all this fun stuff. It's been great hanging out with you guys and talking about this, and we are just getting started. Yeah, happy to have everybody who's tuned in. Today, we are discussing Streaming Wars, Part 3.
Part 3.
Bro.
Who knew we'd have a Part 3?
Bro, every time we do one of these episodes, it's like, okay, what's the next thing? Usually we just think it's movies, but everybody's fighting right now, and I'm really excited because as a consumer, I've never seen anything like this, except when, like, I guess when channels used to go head-to-head, this is kind of what it feels like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, this is the Super Bowl of our world.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when we did the first one, like I said, who knew it was going to get to this point where all these companies are starting to create their own streaming platforms, and here we are on Part 3, about to talk about it all over again.
They need to bundle this because, sir, I am paying too much.
It's crazy. I mean, I think in the first Streaming Wars Part 1, we talked about that this is going to eventually turn into cable. Like, you're going to just have all of these different streaming platforms that you're paying for, and it's going to add up to cable. And before, we were just speculating, but today we got the playbooks. We got the playbooks. They have laid out their cards. All of the streaming services that matter have said, this is what we're committing to, and who knows who's going to win. It could be anybody.
He said that matter. That's crazy.
Yeah, not all of them matter.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing that sucks. So, like, going off of that, it's funny that because I was looking through the Google Doc today, and I got an email from Apple TV saying, "Hey, we upgraded you to Apple TV Plus for 3 months for free," and I was like, "I don't."
And see, they have some good.
That's a shrug, bro.
Coming up.
It's a shrug. It's
like, bro, it came with Apple TV for a year with my phone when I bought it, and all I did was watch the Beastie Boys documentary. That's all I did. I haven't done anything else.
I'm
intrigued to like see what shows they got because
it's been a year.
It's
been a year since they've been around, and they probably have better content. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, all these platforms have different content available, and some of them it's like, that seems like a cool movie. One movie here and there, you know, a show here and there, a cool casting every now and again. But it's like, right now, there's only 2 platforms that are really catching my attention. Now, I'm assuming it's catching your guys' attention. You know, it's probably catching the whole world by storm right now.
We didn't know. Well, we knew that Netflix obviously was, numero uno. That's they're the ones that have pioneered the streaming world, and they reign supreme. And we knew that there were going to be a few companies that were going to try and dethrone them. Disney Plus was being mentioned at that time. Amazon Prime was being mentioned at that time. Even Apple Plus, and then you have all of these other ones. Hulu was even one of the contenders. But I don't think anybody saw that HBOMax was going to come and say, "Hey guys, pound for pound, we got this."
They came swinging.
It
come
gives me
catch this fade.
You know when you go to like an artist competition and there's that one dude in the back not talking to anybody, just like he's just an MC, he's just like ready to go. That's how I feel like HBO Max was. They were just chilling in the cut. They were like ready. And
just listen to everybody's verses.
Yeah, listen to
like,
everybody's verses. Like, all right,
Mhm.
I know what I'm going to perform now. I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So when it was time for them to come up, they're like, "Hey, yo, bet." And they kind of just, bro, they had the Fresh Prince reunion, which pulled everybody. Everybody. Their promotions A1, all the shows that they're talking about, all the movies they're talking about. They came out swinging, and everybody's
the layout is clean.
Stumbling.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
everything's
layout
good.
is clean. The branding is good. The shows original are fire. And a lot of people forgot that HBO had fire original shows from the get-go. They've always done it, but HBO was one of those things that people would consider I don't want to say like a rich thing, but it was like, oh, I'm not paying for HBO.
Service.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna pay for HBO. Like if you had a friend who had HBO also, oh, you were sleeping over all the time because HBO was fire. But man, they really pivoted in the right direction. They secured contracts that were absolutely necessary for shows that people forgot about, but people needed to have, and then they have the money, they have the capital to create new content, and it's amazing.
And they did it at the perfect time. They did all that right before. I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect timing. It was just something they were already doing, but all of that happened right before the pandemic. So, I mean, now I see streaming services popping up because of the pandemic, but they were doing it just to compete with Netflix. And then once the pandemic hit, they're like, you know what? I think we should probably take it a step further and see if we can secure something that no one else can. You know, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with HBOMax. One of the big things this year that they announced is that they are releasing huge blockbuster movies on the same day that they go into theaters. What theaters will be available, I'm not really sure, but
we don't know.
They'll be available at home to stream for 31 days, which is pretty good because 31 days, and then it probably goes on DVD, and then it'll probably come back to HBO Max.
Yeah, but even with that limit, that limit of keeping it exclusive for a certain amount of time is only going to improve the data that they're going to be collecting. So many, it just means that so many more people have to watch in a certain amount of time, which on the back end, when they cascade out their data and they say, oh, well, Matrix 4 had, this many million people who watched it. It's like a more concentrated number at a faster rate. It's genius.
Right.
Yeah.
It's genius. Yeah. So we're gonna definitely go into the breakdown of what this streaming war is gonna entail. This battle has Netflix on one side, HBO Max on the other, a full breakdown of 16 films that are going to be released week after week after week that you already know the SoundFlick boys are going to be watching. And we will be critiquing which films are the best, which ones are great, which ones sucked.
And that's going to be a tough one too, because I mean, there's a lot of good movies coming out, and like we're all hyped for them. So there's been so many delays, but will they live up to their name?
That is the question.
Really, is it worthy of being an exclusive? Was it worth just dropping exclusively on this? And I mean, I guess right now the answer is yes, because we can't go to movie theaters. But but still, we'll. I mean, we're going to be diving into a lot of movies this upcoming year.
Right. Well, because even as a consumer, is it worth it? Where a lot of people still don't have these streaming sites, but all it takes is that one movie to be like, you know what, I need to get it now. Like, is it going to be worth that extra $12.99 just for that month? You know what I mean? Like, are you paying $12.99 just for the movie and then just stop that streaming service after? Like, it's I don't know. Plus, there's a lot of bias that come with a lot of these names and all of these movies that they're putting out. So I'm genuinely curious to see how this is all going to turn out.
How is it going to go?
Yeah,
it's very, very important.
I definitely believe HBO Max will not get to the point where Netflix is, but they'll rise to the occasion and try to be better than them in their own way. Obviously, they're not trying to be exactly like Netflix. Like Narik said, they have their own originals that they've been making even before HBO Max and Netflix. Since they started, they never did originals. You know, it wasn't until like a few years after where they're like, you know what, maybe we should make our own movies or contract our studios to do it.
To that point, Netflix has killed it when it comes to originals. Their output of original content has been insane. Now, before we jump into the full breakdown of both, I definitely would like to say just a nod about a movie that came out in 2020 that we did an episode about as well, and this is one of Chadwick Boseman's last movies that he did, The Five Bloods, directed by Spike Lee, has won Best Film by the National Board of Review, and Spike Lee has won Best Director by the National Board of Review. And I just feel like that should be acknowledged because that movie was fire, and it was a Netflix film, and so that came out, and that's you know, a round of applause for them. If I had an applause button, I'd press the applause button right now.
Oh, we'll get it. But no, that's huge. I feel like for both, obviously for Netflix and for Spike Lee, but for what they're gonna do in the future, Netflix is probably gonna be like, look, man, you won Best Director, it was under our platform. Let's do 3 more movies. Let's do however many movies. Let's do a show type thing, you know. And they've been doing movies for a while. There's a movie, I forget what it's called, but it's a time travel movie that Spike Lee did with Netflix. And then The Five Bloods as well. So I can definitely see them moving forward and creating more, which is huge for the platform because everybody loves, I wouldn't say everybody loves Spike Lee movies, but there's something to watch. It's an event that you can't miss. You know, if you miss the movie, everybody's gonna be talking about the internet and you're gonna be lost type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's discuss what's in the favor of each one of these streaming platforms. So if we look at Netflix, what are the things that you guys feel like are going for Netflix that are for sure attacks that they're going to use, for sure tactics and techniques that you are kind of expecting from them?
So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix develops some type of loyalty program for their fans, because right now the main thing that holds Netflix together are their loyal fan base and the people that still watch it for everything, as far as the originals go, for the shows that they still keep on, from the upcoming movies that are coming up. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't doubt if at least a streaming service, if not Netflix, kind of takes over and is like, you know, we're going to put together this rewards program, we're going to put together this rewards bundle, or even things where that can get people, I guess, in their seats at home to like entice them to watch the streaming service by like Netflix sending them bundles, because we all know Netflix created, basically they used to give DVDs before it was streaming, you know what I mean? So if they created like a bundle service, like, you know, we're going to send you this popcorn, this and that for one this movie, you know what I mean?
So instead of going for the theatrical release, we're gonna send it to you, like you're gonna get the DVD. We're gonna do that. So once it goes off of streaming, you'll have an opportunity to get it on DVD or Blu-ray before anybody else has it, so you can own it or you can have it for like a long time.
Exactly.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
I would like to see Netflix do that, just because again they obviously were the pioneers of that. But also they have some pretty good, I guess you want to call them indie, because not many people are considering them like high tier films, but I would say they have really famous indie films that are coming up. But also just fire sequels. So that's my take on what I think Netflix should do and what I hope they do.
And I would say that, to your point, a lot of our Flicky Awards were for movies, or our surprise movie of the years. I believe 2 out of the 3 were Netflix films that, you know, made us feel like, whoa, we didn't know how good this was going to be. So I feel like Netflix has this unknown factor to it, where because they work with a lot of up and coming talent, and also with, like, you know, they work with A-listers as well, the type of movies and shows that they create, you just never know what's going to really hit. You like, even off the description, you don't really know until you watch it and you're like, oh, this is filmed great. Like, this is written great. So I think that they have a lot more sneak attacks that Netflix can kind of pull out.
Yeah, definitely one of the things that I think HBO Max has over Netflix. Obviously, their contract with Warner Bros. And getting 16 films that are going to come out this year, and that's pretty much like what you're saying. All those movies are by a known studio, and we already know what to expect. But with Netflix, they're releasing a movie every week, and maybe one or two a month might hit, maybe none of them might hit, but with Netflix, they definitely are going to be able to hold the attention span of people a lot more than HBO Max. Maybe HBO Max might keep people a lot longer because of these known titles, but yeah, I mean, Netflix is a lot more about the quantity right now. Obviously, there's some quality, like you said, some prize quality, and every now and again they'll get some A-list actors. But I mean, right now HBO Max with Godzilla versus Kong, The Conjuring, Space Jam 2, those a lot of those are fan favorites. Those are cult movies. So it's like you're getting that cult following and putting it on HBO Max. And I think that's huge for HBO Max to at least go toe to toe with Netflix,
Yeah, I feel like it's like Netflix is hitting them with the jabs, hitting them with like a lot of body shots and a lot of points. And HBO Max is coming out with a haymaker or like a right hook, left hook, literally every 2 weeks to 3 weeks. It's just boom, boom, boom. And is Netflix going to be able to withstand all of these hooks, or is HBO going to just get battered, and then get that surprise hit to the kidney, and it's like it knocks them down? We don't know.
Yeah.
Right. I guess the way I would view it is, I guess it's to use the boxing term, this isn't new to HBO. This is just a different platform, obviously.
Yeah.
Like streaming is no different than cable. We've gone over this. This is nothing new to HBO at all. They took over premium services for how long? They hosted these big events for how long? You know what I mean? I think it's only a matter of time that HBO Max starts showing these live boxing matches, these UFC fights. You know what I mean? It's fully time before they take that over. But I guess the way I would see it is like they're just a seasoned veteran. They know how to take hits. They're just waiting for the right opportunity to strike, which they've been. Netflix is just that young buck that's coming into the ring, just like, all right, you know what? I've been doing this for a little bit. I think I'm the best. Is going in, you know what I mean? So,
HBO Max is like wild. Tom Brady, and Netflix is like Patrick Mahomes.
No, who's gonna win?
The disrespect.
It's true though. It is true. I love that analogy. Another thing, going back to what you said about indie films, is I feel like Netflix has the one up on that because of the international movies that they have. They have the international crowd on lock. There's so many. I've seen so many Korean zombie films. There's Lupin. Was it Lupin, the French thief show? The
heist show.
There's one. It's like Stranger Things, but it's in German. I totally forgot the name of it. That one's huge as well. But I feel like Netflix has that on lock, and that's the one thing HBO Max is missing. If HBO Max can probably get some cool indie international films, I think they have that on. Because one thing that I have been reading around is that a lot of the movies that are going to come out on HBO Max aren't going to come out the same day in other countries. So like if we get say Godzilla versus Kong on May 31st, it's going to come out maybe a month later in another country. But for Netflix, they don't have that problem because they own all their rights. So the day this comes out, it comes out everywhere around the world.
That is true. So that is true. And I think that for HBO Max, I don't see them necessarily going the international route, like unless they partner with other giant studios that are international.
Yeah. And that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and that is kind of tough, because, to get like a Bollywood, or to get like the Chinese, their because their movie theater situation is huge, but the chances of Netflix getting like a Jackie Chan movie, that's like based in China or based in Asia, like made by, an Asian studio, as opposed to HBO getting it. My money's on Netflix being able to grab that just based off of international contact.
Yeah, no, Netflix is more well-rounded and connected to numerous studios, whether like it goes back to quantity. Netflix is like, we're gonna sign with all these different studios who have movies coming out, and we're gonna release them on Netflix. As HBO Max said, let's just go for Warner. They have so many movies coming out this year. There might not be no movie theaters for months. So let's see if they're down, and maybe it'll up our subscriptions.
All right, so then let's go through a few of the movies that Netflix is coming out with and HBO is coming out with, and we're going to pair them against each other. We're going to just say, and then we're going to rapid fire and decide based off of the cast or the director or just the name of it, what we kind of think, who's going to win. All right.
I'm just going to say fire and trash, but also, should we say first or after which streaming service that we're kind of leaning towards? Because I already know who I'm choosing.
No, we can do that at the end after we talk about everything. We'll choose. So I'm gonna go down the list that we have here and just pair them together. So we got on Netflix's side, round one, Army of the Dead, and that is directed by Zack Snyder, or HBO Max's The Little Things, that is starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto.
HBO Max.
Damn, I mean, I'm hyped for that Army of the Dead. I've seen so many pictures. I would go with Army of the Dead. I like the cast. So Army of the Dead is on Netflix. So that's
yes, it is.
So I mean, The Little Things looks good. I love the casting.
Those are three Academy Award winners right there.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's heavy. They're coming out the gate with swinging.
No, I'm gonna stick with Army of the Dead though. That's
all right.
It's a bold statement, sir. Especially
it's okay. It's okay. We're at one and one. Tied so far. All right. So we have a movie called Bruised, and that is going to involve Halle Berry, who's exactly, you took the words right out of my mouth. And that we're gonna put that up against HBO Max's Judas and the Black Messiah, which is going to be starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield.
Peanut and jelly right there, bro. I say HBO Max, but those two are unstoppable together, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say HBO Max. That one I've been waiting for as well. I mean, seeing Daniel going undercover as I believe it's a Black Panther. There's been another movie like that Spike Lee did. Totally forgot the name, but I mean, if it's anything like that, or even more dramatic, less comedic, then I'm hyped for that. The Halle Berry one sounds interesting, but it just sounds like another $1 Million Baby.
You know what?
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Yeah, tell us why you're gonna watch it, Sincere.
Because Halle Berry's so damn fine, sir. Ain't no other reason. But also, I.e. shout out to Lakeith Stanfield. That's my
yes, that is true. That is true. I'm with you guys on that. So then we have third round, Concrete Cowboy. That sounds pretty crazy to me. I was like, whoa. And that's going to be from Netflix, and that is starring Idris Elba and Caleb McLaughlin.
DJ Big Driz.
The kid from Stranger Things.
Okay. Awesome. And we're going to put that up against HBO Max's Tom and Jerry, which is featuring the voices of Michael Pena and Chloe Grace Moretz.
Well, she's like the live action girl in it. I don't know who's playing one of the voices. I know Michael Pena's playing one of the voices, but she's like the live action talking to Tom and Jerry the whole time. Yeah,
I thought Tom and Jerry don't talk.
No, they do. It's very faint. What they talk.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm a fan of Michael Pena ever since Ant-Man. So he's guts to me. Actually, no, even before Ant-Man, I was a fan when he was in End of Watch, when it wasn't even comedic. Like him in End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal, that was insane.
Bro, he was comedy in 30 minutes or less.
Yes, he was comedy in that too. He was comedy in that also. So, but Concrete Cowboy just sounds insane to me with Idris.
I wonder if it's gonna be a Western, like a flat out Western, or if it's like a new age Western in the West. I don't know, but I've seen some shots of it, and I'm probably gonna lean that side. Tom and Jerry, Tom and Jerry's cool.
I'm going with Netflix on that one. So then we have round 4, Don't Look Up, and I've seen a bunch of snapshots of this, and this is with a new look for Leo DiCaprio. With Jennifer Lawrence, and it looks like it's going to be filled with a whole bunch of drama, but then that's going to be going head to head with the Titans, Godzilla versus Kong. We've been waiting for this for a long time, fellas.
Bro, this is not even as a matchup. This is just so tough because both movies look fire. It bugs me that Godzilla and King Kong is such a slept-on genre because people do not like monster movies, bro. A lot of people really don't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is finally gonna be done right. We're just gonna get everybody into the Godzilla thing because everybody's so used to Skull Island and nobody really liked that. Everybody's used to the King Kong with Jack Black, and then the Godzilla with Bryan Cranston. Nobody really liked it, but.
Well, I mean, I like that Godzilla. My whole thing with Godzilla and King Kong, it's just giving me Transformer vibes, you know? And it's hard to have these monster movies with real people because the reality gets suspended so quickly, you know, because it's all right, what's actually if we had monsters that were really coming around here, okay, so people are going to be friends with them. What is going on here? You know, what's actually happening? But if you take all of that out and you look at it as just I feel like people resonate with monster movies when it's mechanical, you know? So you have Transformers or you have Pacific Rim, and it makes it a little bit more okay, well, these are just mech suits that we're controlling. But when it's an actual animal that can just devour the planet and nothing could
animal.
You know what I mean? It just gets a little crazy. But I personally am excited for the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I think that I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence, but I think that she's gonna act her ass off in this movie, and I think Leo's gonna kill it.
When
bro.
you have Leo on your side, you have to act your ass off.
Bro, I'm 100% sure he's out here giving her tips and telling her what to do, helping her take it there. That's the coolest shit ever to me as well.
Well, you got to improv. You know, a lot of these actors, what they'll do is, you know, they'll test you on what's in the script, and then they'll go off script. And if you can hang with them going off script, which is something that got Tom Holland the job as Spider-Man, you know, he went to go audition with Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey just went off script, and he kept up with him. And then when he left, he said, "That's how I knew I got the job." You know, so it's you can get super dope actors who, if you don't get all awestruck or you're just trying to stay to the script, but you just let it loose and you got that chemistry, then you knock it out the park.
Yeah. I'm thinking right now is the Oscars are gonna be crazy. The Grand,
absolutely, they're gonna be insane.
But the Oscars are gonna be the Golden Globes and the Oscars. That's probably gonna be all Netflix and HBOMax.
Honestly, they're so lucky because now that so many people are involved in watching movies and watching TV shows, those award shows are probably actually going to get looked at because people really want to know, wow, who's gonna win?
I remember there was a year where they were jipping all these Netflix films, none of them were nominated, and there were some really good ones at the time. And now it's you have no choice but to nominate those.
You got no choice.
Yeah, I feel that's the only thing.
Yeah, I feel that's one of the routes why Netflix went the quantity route, because they're we're more than likely gonna land one of these as an Oscar.
One of these got to hit. One
of these. If one of them, two of them, three of them, who knows? It might be all of them, but it might not either. It might not be any. So
crazy.
We're gonna have
that'd be such an upset, but Netflix wins this round for me, by the way.
Yes. I give it to Netflix. So on round 5, we have Escape from Spiderhead. Who knows who Spiderhead is? But that is going to be starring Chris Hemsworth. Now, Chris Hemsworth has a good track record when it comes to Netflix and everything that he's done recently. That is a star. And let's pair that up with Mortal Kombat, which is going to be a reboot, and that is presented by HBOMax. And it is promised to have some of the best fight scenes of the year, as well as the most gruesome fatalities that are akin to the actual video game. Now, Mortal Kombat has seen a resurgence in its popularity because of the new video games that have come out ever since Mortal Kombat 9. I played Mortal Kombat 9 all the time. It was insane. I loved it. So I'm really excited for this movie, but it looks pretty low budget. You know, out of all the HBO major movies, it looks like it's the most low budget out of all of them.
And I find like they spent all the money just on the rights to this film.
That could have been it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat though, the known name, opposed to Escape from Spiderhead. You know, I haven't heard anything about that. You know, I feel like there's a lot bigger Netflix names that are gonna come out this year. But who knows? That can be one of the sleepers.
One of the sleepers, man. It could be the kidney shot. Who knows?
Escape from Spiderhead sounds like Superhead had a cousin who got bit by a spider. I'm going with that movie. I'm going with Netflix on this round.
Yeah, it kind of goes.
I'm not a fan of the Mortal Kombat movies, bro.
No.
Seeing that trailer just didn't get me going, bro. Like I'm not happy with the fatalities.
Yeah, but they didn't show any fatalities in there. That's why I'm like, all right, I'm trying to watch this movie. But I feel like that kind of goes back to the familiarity of names. Like HBO Max probably struck gold with all these films, you know, because people are like, oh, I know that movie. I know that movie.
Yep.
I've heard about that movie. That movie was delayed. I'm gonna watch it here. And then you go to Netflix and it's like, I've never heard any of these movies.
I've heard of any of them.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. But that's where you can get that little surprise and delight. Some people like the familiar, and other people like to be surprised. So it's going to divide. It's going to divide the audience. For round 6, we have Malcolm and Marie, which is by Netflix, and that was one of the first films that we heard that was filmed during COVID, and that is starring Zendaya and John David Washington, who both of them have come off of they're on complete up trajectories.
They had a killer in 2020, bro. 2020 did not slow down for them at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. And they're at the height of their popularity right now. And they're starring in a movie together, and Netflix is running it. And that is going up against, in our scenario, HBO Max's The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And that is with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson is cool. I like Patrick Wilson.
I know what Norik's picking.
Oh, you already know. Malcolm and Marie, bro. I ain't watching no Conjuring, bro.
I'm watching The Conjuring.
I'm conflicted. So as a consumer, right, looking at the whole audience, not just myself, I'm sure that The Conjuring is going to take this because The Conjuring, that storyline has so many fans, bro. The Annabelle universe, they have a cult following, bro. And a lot of people don't realize that. If they're not in the cult, then it doesn't really matter to them. But those people that love those movies, they genuinely love those films, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Like, although not all the movies are great, they still have that cult following.
Yeah.
And people are going to watch. I know people are going to watch. I've been waiting for this movie. I think it was going to drop in 2020. So, I mean, Malcolm and Marie, you know, like it's one of those movies where I was reading how it's the new coming of talent, the new coming of age and talent with these two actors. But as far as exciting and what will keep me interested, I think I'm going to go with The Conjuring.
I got you on that. I feel like The Conjuring could lose if it isn't done well. If it is done well, which is possible. If it is done well, then it would beat it out in this scenario because of all the reasons that you guys specified.
Yeah, I don't think people are really taking in consideration that yes, COVID's a real thing, but it's stopping so much production. It's stopping so much actors being in the same room. Like it's gonna have a toll on some of these movies. The Conjuring could have one of those because obviously The Conjuring is known for those scenes that are really close quarters. You know what I mean? Very close quarters, jump cuts, jump scenes that are crazy. For myself personally, I'm gonna give it to Malcolm and Marie, but I think the cult following is gonna lean.
Tell us why, Sincere. Tell us why you want Malcolm and Marie.
Because I'm in love with Zendaya. That's the reason. No, bro, it just looks like a really good film. The only thing I'm not liking about Malcolm and Marie so far is that it's just all grayscale.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because I don't want to get an eyesore from just staring at black and gray the whole time.
Yeah,
but
I can see why people won't watch that. A lot of people really aren't into grayscale. But it might even improve the movie because you're literally just focusing on the actors and the acting rather than the scenery.
Well, I just know the dialogue's gonna be fire. You guys already know I love dialogue, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I feel it. Well, let's see, we are on round 7, I believe.
Hold on, let's do. You know what? Oh yeah, keep going.
We're in round 7, and we have Outside the Wire, and this is by Netflix, and this is starring Anthony Mackie, and this is out. So Netflix already got a head start because they started at the top of January, and HBOMax's first film in this kind of section is coming out at the end of January.
Yeah.
So Outside the Wire's out now. We will be watching it most likely as well and discussing it in our next episode.
It's good.
Okay. Skywalker Mike has already seen it. So he's a little biased probably because this is going up against King James. That's not the name of the movie, but LeBron James, Bron, starring in the reboot of Space Jam: New Legacy. And that is brought to you by HBO Max. How do you guys feel about that with the snapshot that he posted and the kind of overall look and tone of the film? Do you think LeBron is going to win an Oscar?
Oh, God, no. I feel like this movie was like the detox, bro. Like, is it going to come out? Is it real? Is it really going to happen? Is it real? Up until last year. As much as I'm excited, actually, I don't know. I kind of want to lean towards Space Jam for this one, just because it's Space Jam, bro. Like, and if LeBron ruins it, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't think that LeBron is like scripted funny. You know, like he's his own funny, but scripted funny. I don't know if LeBron is scripted funny. I just like his look when he was looking up in that little spot. I was just kind of like, LeBron, stop being ridiculous. Like, yeah, come on, fam. Like, what are you doing?
Bro, I knew LeBron was a terrible actor when he jumped on stage with Drake and Travis Scott for sicko mode.
Bro.
I was like, what are you doing? You're wearing a freaking helicopter hat.
Honestly, I'd rather have Drake in Space Jam than to have LeBron in Space Jam.
No.
Drake's the baller, bro.
No, Drake's gonna get back into movies. Watch. That's gonna happen.
I think he will when he retires from music. I mean, he's been talking about retiring for so long. I don't think he's gonna retire anytime soon. But he will get back.
Yes,
he will.
He will. He's gonna get back into acting. That's just the next step. But I give that one to, well, I haven't seen Outside the Wire yet, but I'm more interested personally in watching Outside the Wire than watching Space Jam. Although those Toon Squad jerseys do look dope, but I just know that it's going to be super hype beast and everyone's going to get one. And then they're going to come out with LeBrons that are the same colorway as it. So you can wear the LeBrons with the Toon Squad jersey. And I'm not here for that.
How many times do you guys think he's going to say Taco Tuesday in the movie?
Taco
Tuesday. It has to be at least once, right?
At least once. I'm going to go with, I mean, I've seen it already. I am very interested in Space Jam, but it just goes back to the acting.
You're biased.
I'm going with Outside the Wire because Anthony Mackie did a phenomenal job. It was kind of cryptic at some point, but I loved it. I love the movie, and I'm going to side with the movie I saw already.
Awesome. Oh, so for Netflix, we have Wendell and Wild, and this is a Key and Peele animated horror film.
I think
which
I'm most excited for this movie.
I'm pretty
really
excited
for this
for
one.
that. I'm pretty excited for that as well. This is going to go up against, in our scenario, the Suicide Squad, which HBO Max is rolling out, the Suicide Squad reboot. And that is going to be a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, and of course, directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's a heavy hitter.
The main thing that has me intrigued about this movie, I'm not sure if you guys watched the behind the scenes after the trailer came out, but James Gunn talked about this being his favorite superhero film he's worked on.
Wow. Over Guardians.
Over Guardians, bro. And
well, but is he gonna say that because it's recent though? Like, what else he gonna say? I like Guardians more. I'm just doing this. Like,
I think he would say that though.
Yeah, I think they let him do what he wanted. And it's not like, when you're working with Disney, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of limitations. But when you're working with DC, what do they have to lose, at this point?
That's true.
If he's saying it's probably his favorite, it's probably because he really put everything he probably wanted to do with it. Opposed to, in Guardians, he's like, I want to do this. And they're like, yeah, no, we can't do that. So
I feel it.
But I'm going to go with the Wendell and Wild, because that one we didn't mention the director, but the director Henry Sejuk, probably saying it wrong, but he did very, very famous animation movies in The Nightmare Before Christmas and Coraline.
Oh wow! Okay,
so yeah, it's gonna be one of those films type thing.
And with Jordan Peele, basically, who's been
Key and Peele are both writing the movie too. So,
and Jordan Peele's been killing it when it comes to horror anyway, with Us and with Get Out. So to bring back his comedy writing horror pal, Keegan, it's gonna be. I'm really excited, and I'm not a big horror guy. You guys all know this, but I'm really excited to see what they like.
If it's anything like The Nightmare Before Christmas horror or Coraline horror, where it's just like creepy and cryptic, then it's going to be very interesting horror, and I'm probably going to side with that one just because of the familiarity with the director and obviously the actors. Because Suicide Squad sounds great. But is it going to be great? It's a DC movie. So far, they've let us down a few times.
True.
Is this going to be the movie to bring it back? And if this is going to be the movie to lift up DC, then I'm not really going to be excited for other movies, because what's that going to put them at? Is it going to be? Yeah. Is this going to be the best DC movie? And then what about the rest of them? Type thing. So
I feel like that this movie is going to be. Even if it's great, it's going to be a one-off. Like, there's not really going to be anything that they can do to build off of it, because they just let James Gunn do whatever it is that he wanted to do. So it's like, without him involved, how do you take it anywhere else that you want to take it? So I think it's going to go down as like one of those superhero movies that's just a classic on its own, but it'll be very contained.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that as well.
So on Netflix's side, we have a couple sequels that they're going to be also introducing as well. We have Chicken Run 2.
I can't wait.
We should do Bird Box 2.
And Bird Box 2.
Yeah.
That they're both introducing. And I feel like hitting the sequel train with Netflix. Chicken Run 2 is going to be exciting, I think, for the kids. Yeah. It's Chicken Run. Like, all right, yes,
bro, I love Chicken Run.
I had it on VHS.
I feel y'all. But Bird Box was like a meme phenomenon. Like, it really reinvigorated the original movie for Netflix. I feel like it's one of those that's very
that doesn't equate to streams though. That doesn't equate to streams. That doesn't equate to quality. It's just
memes
they're making fun of the
streams. Yes, they do.
Do they?
Yes.
Really?
Because people are like, what is everybody talking about? And then everybody's like, oh, if you haven't seen Bird Box, go watch it right now. It's on Netflix.
I didn't even like Bird Box that much, bro. Honestly.
It's funny because
I saw it.
I
And that's
did.
Yeah, I saw it before the memes, and then when the memes came out, I'm like, this movie's not even that good. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I think I saw it after the memes because I was confused with the memes. I was like, let me check it out.
So you one of them. No wonder.
Yeah, I liked the movie though. I genuinely liked the movie, and I was wondering if there was going to be a sequel. It reminded me of another movie, Bird Box, where the whole planet goes blind, and there's only one person who can see. Obviously, in Bird Box, not everybody's blind, but everybody's blindfolded because of this invisible
virus. It was COVID the whole time, bro. That's all it was.
Pretty much. But having that go up against HBOMax's Dune. Dum.
I would say Dune.
With Oscar Isaac, Zendaya, Dennis Villeneuve.
Yeah, that's the Villeneuve.
He's the director, right? He's the director. Okay, awesome.
He did Blade Runner.
Sick.
He did Interstellar.
Sick.
Which is fire because
you did Interstellar.
You already said that. Yeah.
I thought that Nolan,
right?
Yeah, I thought Nolan did Interstellar.
I'm thinking of something else that he did. I think it's another space movie that he did, but it's in the realm. He's like in the realm of Christopher Nolan, of those type of movies where
you get that aesthetic when you see it.
Yeah. The color grading, the cinematography, the dialogue, the casting. Yeah, both of them are on point when it comes to making movies. So I'm very hyped for Dune, especially because it's a reboot of the original Dune movie, which that movie inspired Star Wars to even become a thing. So I've never seen the original Dune, but I mean, who knows? We'll probably do a Dune versus Dune in the future. See how that goes.
Totally.
I'm very hyped for Dune.
Me too.
Bird Box too.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. HBO Max gets that for me. And then Netflix is going to hit us with an Extraction sequel. And Extraction was one of my favorite movies from last year.
Yeah, we talked about this film.
Yeah, and I thought it was great. The Russo brothers directing, fantastic with Chris Hemsworth. The international appeal that they got, the way that they shot it, and I'm excited to see where does the sequel take place. How far in the future is it? But however, with all of that said, HBO Max is coming with The Matrix 4, and oh my goodness, The Matrix was the first movie that I saw that when I left the theater, I didn't know if I was in the right reality. Like, I just didn't know if what I just saw was life or was I just tripping. Like, are we plugged into the Matrix?
You're all grabbing the back of your neck, like, bro.
Yeah, like I was tripping. That was the first movie I ever was tripping from.
Well, I mean, you already cut your hair off, so you know you can't even plug back.
Yeah, bro.
You can't plug into.
I'm unplugged. The Nori that you had on here before was in the Matrix. That's my Matrix version.
Who are you? I'm Farik Thascool.
Man.
So honestly, I think Matrix 4 beats out all of these. You know, I mean, Keanu Reeves is a staple for SoundFlick.
Our guy. He's our guy.
He's a staple to this podcast, bro.
Yeah.
We will get him on this podcast. If any of you guys are listening and you know Keanu Reeves, if you're like his long lost cousin, twice removed, you know, anything along those lines, get him in contact with us.
Please.
Because we would love to have him as a guest on SoundFlick.
Yeah. I would just, man, if we got him on the pod, I wouldn't even know the right questions to ask. I would just want to talk to him, talk about just his experiences.
We got to come prepared. We can't be bluffing.
Call him breathtaking.
Do you like mustard on your
burger? Don't call him breathtaking.
But he's breathtaking, and he thinks I'm breathtaking, and that's what matters. Does he like pastrami sandwiches? I don't know.
Can we get one together, you know, when everything boils down and we're all safe type of thing? You know, those are the questions I want to ask him.
What does he know that we don't know? He has to know some secrets.
What does he know that we don't know?
What does he know that Keanu Reeves, what do you know that we don't know?
It's gonna be like a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
He's like, good question.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, there are going to be many more additions to this list throughout the year. I'm sure Netflix will be making more announcements.
Yes.
The honorable mention in this HBO Max one is that we didn't even talk about the 4-hour Zack Snyder Justice League that they're going to be dropping in March, which is going to be insane.
4 hours. Oh my goodness.
A 4-hour, the longest comic book movie of all time.
How long is our episode going to be for that?
No, it's not an
4
episode.
hours.
It's a 4-hour movie.
No, I'm talking about our
hour
Hour
episode.
hours.
Oh, I mean, hopefully not, man. If it's trash, then it's going to be a 45-minute pod.
Yeah, because that's all I was thinking. I was like, how are we going to break down a 4-hour movie type
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to do a part 1 and a part 2 of this. If it's really, really good and there's so much to unpack, we can do a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Do 2 quick dives.
Yeah, definitely one thing before we get into our last segment, which will be the streaming suggestions. I do want to bring up a new contender to the ring that I heard about yesterday. Which is kind of is a little surprising.
New challenger.
Paramount Plus is coming out.
Yes.
Not sure when it's coming out, but they saw what HBOMax is doing and Netflix were doing, and they're like, you know what, we got to hop on this. We need to keep our content alive. We need to get the money that they're getting, you know?
Yeah.
As far as releases and what they're going to release, I figure pretty much anything Paramount Pictures is going to be exclusively on there. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I feel like they're a little late to the party, but I mean, it's better late than never, right?
Yeah. I mean, Paramount, hearing their announcement kind of saddened me because Paramount has Nickelodeon. And I thought that Nickelodeon and Netflix were inking a deal that I personally felt was going to put Netflix over the top with like the content that they already had.
Right, because we talked about the Roscoe's Modern Life movie, we talked about the Argo movie.
Exactly. And it seems like that Paramount has pulled out of that deal and decided we're going to just do our own. I don't know if that's going to be really lucrative for Paramount, but they do have the Avatar The Last Airbender franchise, which they talked about doing spinoffs for. They talked about doing spinoffs for SpongeBob. These are all huge, huge properties that
I
just resonate with everybody. But I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if they have the creative team to make it resonate with the people of now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's some things that I've seen on from the Paramount Plus. I mean, there's Star Trek. That's huge. I guess for the cult following that they have. Obviously, Nickelodeon is huge as well. I wonder what those SpongeBob spinoffs are going to be like. Patrick, Sandy.
I'm pissed about that because the creator of SpongeBob, he never wanted to do spinoffs, bro. He talks about it in interviews. He never wants spinoffs.
It is better to keep them together.
And then they wait till old boy passes away to all right, let's do some spinoffs. It's so shady, bro.
It just Paramount Plus just screams very corporate-y.
Yeah, like they're cable. They work with CBS heavily.
Yeah, so it's just like it's people in the sphere that don't need to be there that are like, there's money here, so we're gonna do this. And Disney would come off like that, but like Disney has a creative that is really unmatched.
Right.
So they don't come off like that. But Paramount, it's like, y'all don't have any business creating all of this stuff like under your own thing. Like, just license it out to everybody, get your money on the back end, but they're going to try. And I could be eating my words right now. They can come out with amazing content, but I don't think so.
I'm cool on that. I don't need to subscribe if I really want to watch it.
I don't know.
I'm sure I'll know somebody.
Yeah, I don't think I will. Right now, there's not enough enticing me to do it, opposed to what HBO Max and Netflix got going. I mean, at the end of the day, this episode is HBO Max versus Netflix right now because they're one of the two big, HBO Max is up and coming and Netflix has been around. Netflix is still winning to me because of their subscribers and the way they've been able to hold them, because it's not just movies they're dropping every week. They have so many shows. There's a variety of shows coming out. One of the ones that I'm kind of hyped for is The Witcher season 2.
Yep.
There's so much.
They got a lot. They got a lot, and Netflix can pull from so many different shows and add different seasons. I feel like Paramount Plus and Disney Plus are like the undercard. Like they're gonna go at it, and Disney Plus has kind of revealed their hand. They've said, we're coming out with 10 new Star Wars shows, 10 new Marvel shows. It's coming,
but that's over the years.
That is over the years. Yes, it is over the years. So it's pretty much in the next 3 years they have those that are coming out. So we'll see. And Amazon hasn't popped up or said anything as yet. They're kind of cooling. Hulu's kind of cooling. You got like Peacock in the corner, with NBC, but they got Friends and they have The Office as well.
Yeah, and I already forgot about Peacock. I just got reminded right now. I totally forgot about it.
Bruh, so, and who knows, YouTube might pop up and be like, yo, we're going to put people's streaming stuff like you make on a streaming service that's going to be like fire, who knows
YouTube
what
Red kind of took that, but YouTube Red kind of died as soon as they lost Cobra Kai.
Well, people don't like paying for YouTube because YouTube's been free.
Yeah, it's been free for
for so long that people don't want to pay for it. So you really, really got to make something great. But what do you guys think? Out of everything that we've talked about, who do you think is going to win this streaming war this year? The underdog with the quality, the international acclaim, a little bit more of a pulse on the new sphere, or the Titan, the reigning champ, the person who's been here before, came out of retirement, trained up, got fire again, and is ready to reclaim the crown? HBO Max.
I'm going to go with HBO Max just for this year because, this is the first time that they're at the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to be able to repeat it, though. Netflix, on the other hand, will be there next year because Netflix, since they've been around, I feel like they've made their plans for probably the next 10 years. Yeah. Obviously, HBO Max is probably trying to figure that out, but who's to say they have that Warner Brothers deal next year?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, but I think this year HBO Max will take it, and
HBO Max is like the Golden State Warriors when they got KD.
Right now Warner Brothers is KD.
Warner Brothers is KD. HBO Max just got them on the team, and they're rolling. And Netflix is like, oh man, but Netflix is LeBron and is always in the finals. But may win some, but may lose some also. So
but he's gonna be there at the end.
But he's gonna be there. I'm gonna give it to HBO Max as well for this year. I think that they have a championship team. I think that they're gonna have a winning record. It's gonna be 73 and 9. It's gonna be maximum. They're ready to live up to their name. What do you think, Sincere?
Yeah, man. HBO Max. I don't think there's anything much to say that you guys haven't already touched base on, but they're just Skywalker just going to change your green screen over to just HBO Max completely. But yeah, bro, I don't know. It's kind of just leaving me speechless. Just kind of looking over their list. It's just consistency. I think that's all it is. They've been consistent from the start. The algorithm's beautiful. The aesthetic's beautiful. Nothing else is purple, bro. It just calms me when I see it. It's just kind of just gets you in the mood.
I've been watching so much on HBO Max lately, like from shows to movies that I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. There's so much to do on HBO Max right now before they even release any of these Warner Brother movies. So yeah.
Exciting.
Get HBO Max if you don't have it.
Yes.
It's going to be in for a ride.
The war has begun. Y'all, the war has begun. Weigh in. Let us know what you're watching and what you enjoy and what you like. Every week there's something great, so you shouldn't be saying that you are bored. And
speaking of that, let's kind of just jump into the suggestions since we're
let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, let me start off. Shout out Netflix because, of course, we love their originals. We love their dialogue. Night Stalker. If you guys know what Night Stalker is, Richard Ramirez is the name of the Night Stalker. He was a serial killer in the early 1980s.
I've heard about this.
Who passed away in 2013 from cancer. This dude committed murders all through SoCal in the LA area and the San Francisco area, and he got away with it for years, bro. And the amount of detail put into this show, we broke it up into 4 episodes, 4 50-minute, 1 hour episodes, from the detectives that worked the case, from the news reporters that were live watching it, to people that were victims as far as like family members go, or people that survived. It's such a gnarly show, and I loved every bit of it. I watched it with my mom because she grew up around that time, so she remembers that, and we're kind of just talking about it. So definitely go watch it. It's definitely a good watch, and it definitely wants to make you look more into this because it's super gnarly. So definitely go stream that.
Dope.
Yeah. I'll go next. It's a HBOMax. It's not an HBOMax original, but it's on HBOMax right now. There's a movie on it. It's called Snowpiercer. I like the movie more than the show, but the show format of the same storyline for the show is what really is intriguing to me, because there's way more point of views. There's different scenarios for characters. But if you haven't seen the movie Snowpiercer, the show is probably just as good. It's by the same producer, Bong Joon, which is the guy who did Okja. He did Parasite, which was two really good movies, and Snowpiercer, which is another one with Chris Evans. But Chris Evans isn't in the show. It's David Diggs as the main character. Same premise, same thing, different storyline. If you guys haven't seen it and looking for something to watch, go peep that. Season 1 is all of the episodes are available, and season 2 just started on January 25th. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. For my suggestion, I'm throwing it back and picking one of the streaming services that's still in training.
Such a good show.
Amazon Prime. And my show that I picked was Heroes.
Love that.
Save the cheerleader. Save the cheerleader.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. Heroes season 1 was the height of great television and great writing on a regular network. No cable. It was on NBC. And
accessible to everybody, bro.
Accessible to everybody. I remember watching it. I remember asking my parents because at that time I had a curfew that I had to go to bed, and I was like, could I stay up longer so I can just watch this show? And me and my brother would watch it religiously. And this is one of the shows, and I'll just put this as a disclaimer. This is one of the shows that was affected during the writer's strike. During the writer's strike that happened, that axed a lot of shows, and that happened toward the 3rd and 4th season of this show. But the first season is worth the watch on its own. It's really incredible. And if you do enjoy it and you want to keep following these characters, the additional seasons are interesting as well. So I recommend watching Heroes, and that is on Amazon Prime.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Narik, let me go ahead and borrow your Prime password, please, because I kind of want to watch Heroes now.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Hey, I'll take
so
it.
that is it for episode 40. If you have any anything you guys want to tell us, whether you side with Netflix, whether you side with HBO Max, let us know.
Yes.
What your go-to is for this year, or if you are gonna watch both, because we're gonna be watching on both platforms. So Netflix, don't hate us, because if you're hearing us, we still love you.
Yeah, Don't be trolling either, saying Disney Plus and shit like that. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, it's only between HBO Max and Netflix. But one thing that you don't have to choose is where you start your own podcast, and that is with productiveculture.com/podcasts, and tell them that the SoundFlick boys sent you.
That's us.
That's right. That's right. And make sure and follow us on Instagram at SoundFlick Pod and on Twitter at SoundFlick Pod as well. We appreciate all of you for listening and for tuning in. Yeah, guys. I think that this is it. I appreciate y'all. It's great talking with you guys. We're going to be watching some great things, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yes, sir.
Tee-hee. Bye, friends.
Alrighty, peace.
Peace.